Dr. Melissa Chen adjusted her biohazard suit one final time before entering. Observation Chamber 7. The fluorescent lights hummed overhead, casting sterile white light across the reinforced containment unit. Through the 3-inch thick transparent aluminum composite, she could see it, the entity that had arrived 6 weeks ago, in a craft that defied every known principle of physics. Daniel Martinez, her research partner, stood beside the monitoring station, his eyes fixed on the biometric readings streaming across multiple screens. "Vitals are stable," he said without looking up. "But Melissa, its neural activity spiked the moment you entered the facility. It knows you're here." She approached the glass slowly, her heart hammering against her ribcage. The being inside was humanoid in the loosest sense, bipedal, with bilateral symmetry, but its skin held an iridescent quality that shifted between deep purple and silver depending on the angle of light. Its eyes, large and multifaceted like a tracked her movement with unnerving precision. Then it smiled. The gesture was unmistakably human, despite the fact that its mouth contained no teeth, only a soft bioluminescent interior that pulsed with each breath. When it spoke, no sound emerged. Yet words formed directly in Melissa's mind, with crystalline clarity. "I've been waiting for you, Dr. Chen." She stumbled backward, her gloved hand gripping the edge of a workstation. Daniel was at her side instantly. "What happened? What did it do?" "It spoke to me," Melissa whispered, her scientific training warring with the impossible reality before her. "Telepathic." "It knows my name." Daniel's expression darkened. "That's not possible. We've maintained complete information security. No names, no personal data anywhere near this facility." But Melissa knew better. She'd spent 15 years studying xenobiology, quantum consciousness, and the theoretical frameworks for non-human intelligence. If this being could traverse the vast emptiness between stars, manipulating thought might be trivial by comparison. She approached the glass again, this time with deliberate steps. "How do you know me?" she asked aloud, aware that the entity likely didn't need auditory input. The being tilted its head, and Melissa noticed for the first time the geometric patterns that rippled across its skin, not random, but structured, mathematical. Each pattern seemed to correspond with its communication. "Attempts. I have observed you for 3,217 of your rotations around your star." The voice in her mind continued. "Your work on quantum entanglement and consciousness resonated across dimensions we navigate. You are the reason I came." Daniel was frantically typing on his tablet, recording everything. "Melissa, this could be a sophisticated psychological manipulation. These readings show it's generating localized electromagnetic pulses that could be affecting your temporal lobe." 8.7 years. Melissa interrupted, her voice distant. "It's been watching me for 8.7 years. She looked at the entity with new understanding. "Since my paper on non-local consciousness transfer." The being's bioluminescent interior brightened, which Melissa interpreted as affirmation. "Your species stands at a threshold. The mathematics you've discovered, what you call the Chenkov equations, they are the key to transcending dimensional boundaries. But your governments wish to weaponize this knowledge. I surrendered myself to this facility to deliver a warning to the one person who might understand." "A warning about what?" Melissa pressed closer to the glass. Daniel grabbed her arm. "Melissa, don't engage further. We don't know what it's capable of." "The weapon your military is constructing in Sector 19, the entity continued, ignoring Daniel entirely. "They believe it will allow faster-than-light travel by tearing through dimensional membranes. They are incorrect. It will create a cascading failure across 4 adjacent dimensions, collapsing the quantum foam that maintains space-time stability in this region of the galaxy. Approximately 43 billion sentient beings will cease to exist." The air seemed to leave Melissa's lungs. Sector 19. The classified project she'd been denied access to despite her security clearance. The project that had requested her theoretical models 6 months ago. "You're saying my research is being used to build a doomsday device?" "Not intentionally. Your species' understanding is incomplete. The mathematics are correct, but the application requires knowledge you have not yet discovered. I possess this knowledge. I came to share it, but only with you. You must convince your authorities to halt the Sector 19 project before the first test firing, which is scheduled to occur in 41 hours. Daniel was already on his secure comm line, speaking rapidly to Facility Command. Melissa could see the conflict in his eyes, the scientist in him fascinated by the implications, the security officer trained to view this as a potential deception. "How do I know you're telling the truth?" Melissa asked. The entity moved closer to the glass until they were separated by mere inches. "You don't, but you know the Chenkov equations. Run the simulation for a forced-dimensional breach in the presence of a destabilized Higgs field. Your own mathematics will confirm what I've told you." Melissa's hands were shaking now. She did know the equations intimately, and if what the entity claimed was true, the simulation would take her less than an hour to complete on the facility's quantum processes. "And if I confirm it, what then?" "Then you must make a choice that will define your species' future. Trust the institutions that have kept me imprisoned, denied you access to critical research, and pursued weapons development over peaceful exploration, or trust a being who has crossed the void between stars to warn you, at the cost of its own freedom, because it recognizes in you a kindred consciousness, a mind that seeks understanding over domination. General Foster's voice crackled over the facility intercom. Dr. Chen, Dr. Martinez, step away from the containment unit immediately. This conversation is terminated. But Melissa didn't move. She stared into those multifaceted eyes and saw something she hadn't expected: hope, not for the entity itself, but for her, for humanity, for the chance that intelligence might choose wisdom over fear. "Daniel," she said quietly, "I need access to the quantum processes." Now, he looked at her for a long moment, then nodded. "I'll buy you an hour. Make it count." As armed guards entered the observation chamber, Melissa was already running, her mind racing through equations that might save or condemn billions of lives she would never see. The entity watched her go, its smile never fading, its purpose fulfilled. It had delivered its message to the one person in this world who might listen. Now the outcome rested with Dr. Melissa Chen, and the choice only she could make.